You're watching WWMT. Covering West Michigan, Jim Mertens, Angela Miles, Marty Hill's sports, and Ron Boyd's weather. This is News 3.
Was this man to die in Panama on Friday? Apparently so. Hello, West Michigan. I'm Jim Mertens. Angela Miles has the night off. The head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Colin Powell, toured Panama City on Friday, and it appears he was stalked by a sniper intending to kill him. Along Powell's most likely route in Panama City stands these two buildings. This is where the sniper was spotted and chased. Sergeant Robert Patton chased the sniper from rooftop to rooftop and was fired upon while pursuing the gunman.
A couple times I got 2 rounds on my helmet, which is the bottom one and the middle one. Both rounds came out to the top hole, as you see right up here.
Powell left safely after his one-day tour of Panama. As for Sergeant Patton, he's back on duty today after suffering a minor concussion. And as for the sniper, he's still on the loose. The latest fight over Panama is occurring in the United States. It's a battle over numbers. Former U.S. Attorney General Ramsey Clark says 4,000 Panamanians lost their lives in the invasion, but Deputy Secretary of State Lawrence Eagleburger says he resents and rejects that claim, saying 500 died. And the man the operation was designed to capture, Manuel Noriega, is preparing his defenses to drug charges, but the administration says it isn't afraid of what the deposed dictator will say. The White House Chief of Staff believes what they've found is more valuable than what Noriega will say.
I think that the best part of the information that will probably come out of Panama is going to come from documents in Panama, material that's down there. What has been discovered both in files and official files and unofficial sources that were there is going to be a treasure trove for those who care about finding out what's been going on not only in Panama but Central and South America.
And prosecutors are apparently working out deals for testimony against Manuel Noriega. Former close Noriega colleagues are being offered deals in exchange for their testimony. The Justice Department would not comment on the deals, though. And the United States is going to step up its fight against drugs off the coast of Colombia. But the Colombians so far have wanted no part of it. The aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy left its Virginia port Thursday, headed for maneuvers in the Atlantic, but the Pentagon has confirmed that Kennedy will be used to spearhead an anti-drug interdiction off the Colombian coast. So far, the operation has received no blessings from the Colombian. Leaders reportedly refused to meet with American officials this past week to discuss the naval operation. A foster home went up in flames in Alabama overnight, taking 7 lives with it. Firefighters found a tragic sight inside, the bodies of 6 young children and an elderly woman. The private foster home caught fire for an unknown reason. A gas tank was found intact inside the home. The sheriff says the home housed children who otherwise had no home and no place to go. An early morning fire destroyed a Kalamazoo home and everything in it. Fortunately, the family of 5 escaped. News 3's Lanice Weeks has this report.
Broken glass, charred debris, a guitar, evidence of the early morning fire that swept through this Parchmount Avenue home, destroying everything in its path. A neighbor captured the rage on a home camera. One of the residents happened to come home shortly after 5 this morning and found her home up in flames. She then called firefighters, who arrived on the scene 3 minutes later. Dave Jarkowski lives next door.
I heard the fire trucks and that woke me up, and I looked through the bedroom window and smoke was coming out of the Hamilton's house. And a little while later I went outside to see what was going on.
Firefighters had to fight the fire from outside. It appeared there was a natural gas leak in the home, and the threat of an explosion prevented them from going inside.
It was determined by command officers on the scene that until the natural gas was shut off to the structure, that it was not safe to public safety personnel to go inside.
The gas meter that would have had to be turned off before anyone could enter the home was located in the basement instead of outside. So firefighters had to wait until Consumers Power could find the outside shutoff. They could not. 3 hours later, they instead found and cut off the pipeline. The fire marshal's office hopes to learn by tomorrow what caused the fire. Right now, about 6 feet of water floods the basement, hampering any investigation. The Hamiltons lived in this home that is now boarded up. Neighbors nor police, however, could say where the family of 5 will be staying tonight. In Kalamazoo, Lanice Weeks, News 3.
A spokesperson from Consumers Power says he cannot say whether the time it took workers to find the gas pipeline hindered firefighters from doing their job. He says it is rare Consumers Power would have trouble finding the shutoff, but he says the extreme cold, ice, and frost slowed his workers. Right now, if you're left homeless by fire in Kalamazoo, you have to seek out the Red Cross for emergency aid. But all that is about to change as of tomorrow. News 3's Diane Daniels tells us more.
Red Cross volunteers and workers were stocking up their disaster van today. Tomorrow morning, the Red Cross will begin taking this vehicle to any fire in the city of Kalamazoo that leaves people homeless.
All these items will load in here right now. Okay?
The Severns know that feeling all too well. They lost everything in their Kalamazoo home to fire after Thanksgiving. But it was a week and a half before they connected with the Red Cross for emergency help like food, clothing, and shelter.
I think it would have been a lot better if, if they could have came out there. Something happening like that, there's other things that's got to be taken care of too, and your mind's not really exactly right with it, so it would have made it a lot easier if they would have came out.
The people making it possible for the Red Cross to begin offering on-site assistance at fires is a group of 60 trained volunteers. Nelson and Ruth Gritter are among them.
It's on the spot where people need one person helping another person.
3 o'clock on some cold morning, we may wonder, but we're excited about it.
When there's a fire that leaves someone homeless, the fire department will call out the Red Cross volunteers like the Gritters. They will take this disaster van right to the victims. Right now, the Red Cross estimates it helps out about 12 to 60 victims of fires each year. With this new enhanced program, the Red Cross estimates that it'll go out on 200 to 250 fires annually.
We're talking a period of probably October to the last of March, 1st of April will be the big time for us to be working. After that, the heating season is pretty much over and we have a lot less fires.
As of February 12th, the round-the-clock on-site emergency service will be expanded to fire victims countywide. Diane Daniels, News 3.
The Red Cross says it could use more volunteers for expanded disaster services program. If you'd like to help, contact the Red Cross Chapter House of Kalamazoo County. Grand Rapids fire investigators are combing through the rubble of a building downtown that was destroyed early this morning, also by fire and an explosion. This is all that is left of the old Spring Air mattress building at the intersection of Mount Vernon and Pearl. Fire officials say the blaze started around 4:30 this morning. No one was injured, and the building was in the process of being torn down. One of the owners of the Spring Air Mattress Company says the business was moved out of the building in 1988. The structure was sold to Grand Valley State University. Kim Kennedy of Spring Air says a joint owner of the business was told by fire officials arson may be to blame. The leader of an Ohio cult accused of murder has been arrested in California. Jeffrey Lundgren is the leader of a small cult based in Ohio accused of killing 5 people. A memorial service was held for those who died in what was called a human religious sacrifice. Besides Lundgren and his family, 8 others have been taken into custody. A lone suspect is to be arraigned in Calhoun County Court tomorrow for the shooting death of a Battle Creek man last night. 32-year-old Eddie Lee McCrae died shortly after arriving at Lila Hospital. Police say he had been shot in the chest during an argument outside a Howling Street apartment. A suspect is in jail tonight facing open murder charges. And no leads have been developed over the weekend in the Friday slayings of Doris Carter. Carter was found Friday noon of a stabbing wound in her apartment. Police are still trying to find the woman's husband, who is suspected of the murder. And 2 men will be arraigned in Kalamazoo County Court tomorrow for the weekend beating of a Kalamazoo man. 27-year-old David Geib is in critical condition at this hour at Bronson Hospital after being found in front of his Jefferson Street home Saturday night. He had severe head wounds. One suspect is facing the charge of assault with intent to murder. The other suspect, illegal entry. The Detroit area man accused of drowning his 4 children in a planned car accident says he has been brainwashed by police. 29-year-old Lawrence Delisle says his videotaped confession was coerced after 9 hours of questioning. Police say Delisle confessed to driving his car into the water August 3rd to get rid of his burdens. A judge has thrown out the comments, but the Court of Appeals has a motion to appeal that ruling. NASA officials plan to start fueling the Space Shuttle Columbia tonight, but there's a good chance tomorrow's scheduled liftoff will be scrubbed because of bad weather. The main concern? Visibility, with clouds and fog expected to blanket the area during scheduled launch time. During a 10-day mission, Columbia's 5 astronauts will deploy a Navy satellite and retrieve a science satellite that has been orbiting for about 6 years. Just ahead on News 3, Ron Boyd with a weather forecast. Will this mild weather continue? And a Soviet soldier finds new freedom after such a long wait. We'll explain.
KT Wild Bird Food brings out the color. Bring out the color in your yard with nutritious KT Wild Bird Food.
Introducing the soup that's going places. New Campbell's and Chunky microwave soups. They're quick and easy to handle. Ready to serve in 2 minutes or less. There's nothing to add, nothing to clean up. And they come in their own microwave bowls so they easily go where you go. To work, school, anywhere there's a microwave. New Campbell's and Chunky microwave soup. The soup that's, going places.
It appears just one person is the big winner in last night's Lotto 47 drawing. The lucky ticket holder will claim a $15 million jackpot and become my best friend. The winning numbers 7, 15, 21, 35, 40, and 42. The winner will receive an initial payment and then yearly installments of more than $700,000. Wednesday's jackpot will be worth about $2 million. And the million-dollar question is, will it ever get colder? Will we ever get snow? Or are we going to remain in this type of a holding pattern?
Eventually we will, Jim. But I think West Michigan is the big winner here as far as weather is concerned. Depending on if if you don't like to ski, that kind of thing, if you like sunny weather with mild temperatures, then you're the big winner. You're the big loser if you like to ski.
Snow, sure.
But we're going to change that around toward the end of the week. But the first part of the week looks pretty good. Highs and lows on the day. It was another beautiful day across West Michigan. Kalamazoo got up to 41 degrees. Well above our average high of 29, some 10 or 12 degrees. Grand Rapids checking in at 37 for a high, Muskegon along the lakeshore at 37, and Battle Creek had a high of 40 degrees today. Early morning lows were generally in the 20s. Now temperatures across for January, for the first 7 days of January, we have been 6 of those 7 days are either at or above the average high, and the average high you can see is 31. Only one of those days where we were below the average high, and that was on Friday, where we hit 30 degrees. Temperatures across the region right now are generally in the 20s. It's 29 in Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, 30 in Battle Creek, 25 the cool spot inland at Three Rivers, and along the lakeshore, Muskegon's reporting 26, Holland at 28, South Haven at 33, and Benton Harbor at 32. Relative humidity stands at 88%. The barometer is falling, winds blowing out of the south very lightly at 5 to 8 miles per hour, and wind chills anywhere from 18 to 27 degrees. On the big map where the features are, high pressure dominating our weather. Very nice from the state of Michigan back into the Central Plains. There's some clouds off to the south with this storm system, and that's what may hold up that shuttle launch for tomorrow, because the clouds will still be around, and as this system moves off to the northeast, it will continue to bring rain across the southeast. But we're not going to have to worry about anything like that. We'll see a few more clouds in our forecast for tomorrow than what we had today, but still we're going to see a good dose of sunshine. A couple of weak fronts up to the north are going to stay to the north, maybe dropping some flurries or some light snow across the UP, but as far as here in West Michigan, we are going to stay high and dry. 12 cities across the nation either tied or set record highs. International Falls, 37 degrees. Unusual for them in International Falls along the Canadian border. 43 in Muskegon. Got to go back to 1965 when they broke a record there. 42 in St. Cloud, 53 in Sioux City, Iowa, and 56 in Norfolk, Nebraska. Heavy rains across the deep south, and the heavy rains will continue. They had over a half-inch in Charleston, South Carolina, and remnants from Hurricane Hugo that blocked the drainage down there. They got some flooding conditions out in South Carolina. You may be wondering, where's all the snow? Well, it's out west in Nevada. 5 to 6 inches fell in the last 6 to 7 hours, and some of that snow is going to make it our way. You can see some of the rain along the west coast by Thursday and Friday of the coming week, and we're looking for a mixture of rain and snow because our temperatures are so high. If you want to do some stargazing, tonight is a good night to do stargazing because clear skies. Full moon Thursday, and the sun will set then at 5:31. Here's the forecast for tonight. Mostly clear, an overnight low of 27 degrees. Tomorrow, another nice day. We'll see a few more clouds, partly cloudy skies, and a high of 42. Tomorrow night, our cloud cover will increase late in the day with an overnight low of 33. As we head into Tuesday, there is a slight chance we could see a rain or a mixture of snow in there late in the day, but our high temperature will be 40. Tuesday looks pretty good. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday and Friday are the days we have to worry about when the temperature drops into the 30s, mid-30s by Friday with a chance for some rain and some snow. So if you can hold out to Thursday and Friday when we can get you some rain and snow, maybe you'll be happy.
Keep our fingers crossed till then, right? Okay. Harry Truman was president, Joseph Stalin was in power, and Russian soldier Ivan Bushilo was afraid for his life. So much so, in fact, he went into hiding. And today, he came out of seclusion. After 42 years, Bushilo emerged from a crude hut deep within a Russian forest. He went into hiding after speaking in support of a disgraced military leader. Such talk enraged Soviet leader Stalin, who had denounced him. Bushilo was a war hero. He came out of hiding only after relatives showed him a newspaper which told of reforms made by Mikhail Gorbachev. 42 years of hiding will now be followed by freedom in his own country. Still to come, your opinions on Your Turn. We'll be right back.
You're probably wondering why I'm doing this commercial for Rogers Department Store's Big and Tall Shop. Well, actually, I'm 6'7" and weigh, all kidding aside, I'm here to tell you what a great department this really is. The Big and Tall Shop at Rogers has it all, an overwhelming selection of quality, name brand Big and Tall fashions. Shirts, slacks, suits, sweaters, and all the accessories. The Big and Tall Shop of Rogers Department Store, the official fashion locker of the Grand Rapids Hoops.
Which store brings you this abundant selection of food every week? Meijer. With low prices every day, sale prices too. During Kids Week at Meijer, Muller boxed pasta is only 88 cents per box. Choose from jungle animals, teddy bears, and many more of your kids' favorite shapes. Pick up Campbell's Chunky Soups as a hot meal on a cold winter day. Selected varieties only $1.19 per can. Meijer. Low prices every day and a whole lot more.
A newspaper poll shows many Michigan residents are looking to buy a new car this year. Despite predictions, auto sales will drop. The poll says about a third of those surveyed say they're likely to buy a new car in 1990. More than half believe this year will be a good time to buy a car. And more than 60% say Americans should buy American cars. The auto industry estimates Americans will buy about 10 million cars this year alone. And being named Vehicle of the Year certainly can't hurt sales. This year, the Lincoln Town Car, the Mazda Miata, the Nissan Pathfinder have each been named Vehicle of the Year by various publications. Each of the magazines takes the award candidates through a series of tests for performance, comfort, and value. And in other automotive news, the Ford Motor Company says it will make front seat airbag standard on all of its cars by the mid-1990s. In the current model year, Ford offers the safety devices on about half of its cars. And it's now time to hear from you, our viewers. Station manager Gil Bittner has this week's letters on Your Turn.
Local television stations often make program changes right after the ratings come out. That's what we did, and that prompted this letter. When Family Feud was taken off the noontime airing, I became very upset. It's time for some changes. Sad when you have to pay for garbage. Fortunately, our mail brings the other kind of letters, too. We would like to tell you how much we enjoyed Our Town Christmas. The human interest of the communities are presented in such creative ways. And this very nice letter from Lawrence. I just want to thank you for trying to make our world a better place. Praising people for being good neighbors, gathering clothing, gathering toys, showing us the beauty and hominess of rural America. We love you all and feel like you're a real part of our lives. Thank you. For some of us, that's why we're in this business. We'll be back next week with Your Turn.
And we'd certainly like to hear from you. All you have to do is write us with your opinion here at West Michigan Television. There's the address. Coming up next in sports, some of the youngest and best of the area skating talent. And two more teams move on in the NFL playoffs. Marty Hill has all the sports coming up next.
got this piano recital this afternoon, see? Just between you and me, there are a few other things I'd rather be doing. So yesterday, playing soccer with Tommy Freeman, I just happened to accidentally break my only pair of glasses. So long, Mr. Steinway.
New Vision has your new glasses ready in about an hour. Right now, buy one complete pair of prescription glasses and get a second pair free.
Life is cruel.
Who's #1 in Michigan? You tell us. Is it the Big Mac or the McChicken sandwich? The Big Mac. McChicken. Big Mac. McChicken.
Hey, let's vote on it.
Okay, Michigan, you decide. Buy a delicious Big Mac or a juicy McChicken sandwich for only 99 cents. What you buy counts as your vote, but you must vote by January 21st.
Big Mac.
McChicken. Big Mac. Chicken. Buy a Big Mac or McChicken sandwich for only 99 cents and cast your vote by January 21st. And vote as often as you like.
Get ready for football along the fault line.
That's right. It's going to be a California game in the NFC. Who do you like?
San Francisco.
Very good. The NFC Championship will be an all-California final. The Rams won their way to a date with San Francisco with a controversial overtime victory over the Giants. Just another day in the New York City area as the Giants host L.A. It's New York 6-0 late in the first half when Phil Simms decides he wants to get another field goal on the board. Bad decision. Ball's picked off by Michael Stewart. He takes it down to the 20. On the next play, it's Jim Everett to Flipper Anderson, and it's 7-6 Rams at the break. Third quarter, O.J. Anderson puts the Giants back on top, 13-7. The Rams get a field goal and are looking for 6 more here. Everett rolls and fires into the end zone, and it's up for grabs. Does the ball touch the ground? Giants say no, interception. Referee says yes, incompletion. That sets up the tying field goal for Mike Lansford, and we go to overtime. Here's the big play. Everett looks for Anderson again, but Sheldon White looks like he pushes Flipper. He draws the flag. The replay, you decide, but it's interference. Was the ball catchable? Who knows? On the next play, Everett gets Anderson for the game winner. Doesn't waste any time, strikes quickly. LA takes it 19-13, and the interference call was the big play.
And he doesn't even... I touched it, you know, is that catchable? You know, I thought I was going to get to it. We've been making those plays all year, and DB is going to, you know, jump on your back. He's not allowed to do that, whether it's regulation or overtime. You got to make the call.
Both teams are sweating it out, and we're playing too hard of football to let the game come down to a decision by a referee that doesn't, you know, the game doesn't matter diddly squat to him.
That's highly technical football lingo, for those of you who didn't recognize that. So it'll be the Rams and the Niners next Sunday. These guys split their 2 meetings this season. The fans in Denver were a mile high this afternoon as the Broncos came from behind against the Steelers, and the crowd might have been the difference. Chuck Noll has the Steelers in the final 8, and they jump on Denver early. Here's Merrill Hoge after a 45-yard run, taking it the rest of the way for the touchdown and a 10-0 lead. Second quarter, the lead goes to 17-7 as Bubby Brister fires a bullet to Lewis Lips. It's 17-10 in the third when the Broncos tie it. John Elway to Vance Johnson, and it's 17 apiece. Fourth quarter now. Steelers up after 2 field goals, but it's Melvin Bratton giving Denver a 1-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. The crowd is giving Pittsburgh fits. Bubby Brister can't hear, and obviously neither can his center. The snap comes low, it's loose. Denver recovers, and that's it. The Broncos run out the clock and come from behind to win by 1, 24-23.
We're never going to quit. We're never going to give up. And we have a lot of talent. We've got a good scheme, and we believe in ourselves and our own ability to win football games.
It's something that you just try to do something with every time you get the ball, and not really concern yourself. Just realize that you've got to find a way to get the job done.
So the Broncos host the Browns next Sunday. They've had 2 other great AFC title games the past few years, with Denver winning both. Word from the east side of the state today is that Bo Schembechler will soon leave the University of Michigan and become president of the Tigers. Schembechler, who is currently athletic director at the U of M, will reportedly replace Jim Campbell, who becomes chairman of the board. Sources say the announcement will come this week. In other baseball news, the Reds have signed center fielder Eric Davis to a 3-year deal worth a reported $10.8 million. He's the 3rd highest player in the game, but with bonuses and incentives, he could move up the ladder to #1. Bill Curry is out as head football coach at Alabama. Curry says he's leaving the Crimson Tide, but he doesn't say where he's going, although it is believed he'll take the head coaching job at the University of Kentucky. We go to Carlsbad, California for the first golf tournament of 1990, the Tournament of Champions at La Costa. In the seniors division, George Archer ran away with it, taking the title by a whopping 7 strokes. The PGA division was closer, with Paul Azinger winning by 1. A nice chip in here on 11 helped out. Hasinger wins when Ian Baker Finch bogeys the final hole. College hoops at Freedom Hall is number 8 Louisville blasted 15th ranked UCLA. It was all Cardinals at the start. Keith Williams gets the layup and Louisville goes ahead 9-0. They were up 22 at halftime, and here's the alley-oop for Jerome Harmon, who had 23, and Louisville takes it 97-80 in the pros tonight. Jersey over the Hawks 98-93. New York by 1 over the Clippers. Hockey, Boston and Montreal both win. It's been a good winter for several skaters from Michigan. This is 11-year-old Mary Cooley of Kalamazoo, who took home a bronze medal at the recent Eastern and Great Lakes Regionals in Midland. Mary also won first place at the Tri-State Championships last year. As you can see, it takes a lot of concentration to do these maneuvers. Mary says she tries to block everything else out when she's on the ice.
I think about exactly what I'm doing at that moment, and not about winning or how the judges are looking at me, just about what I'm doing.
She has a lot of potential. Her technique is excellent in figure skating. She's a hard worker, and she performs well.
A couple of other outstanding skaters are Charlie and Aaron Butler, a brother and sister dance pair. Charlie, who's 10, and Aaron, who is 9, won a gold medal in a Port Huron competition last winter. They say that while it's hard work, skating is also very enjoyable for them.
It's refreshing, and it's fun to fly like a bird. It's fun because it can get your mind off of troubles and makes you feel free, and spinning is awesome.
That's what Jim says. All of these kids practice an awful lot. They put in 2 hours of workouts 4 times a week at the Annex. You say that all the time.
Yeah,
spinning is awesome.
I've been spinning for years.
Yeah.
When we come back, one of the world's most famous attractions will be closed for repairs. We'll tell you why.
Safari by Skidoo. More fun than your wildest dreams. Join the Safari adventure and get the Safari Safeguard Guarantee. Get the details at your nearest participating Skidoo dealer.
If your nights are getting way too late, the sag in your mattress may be getting way too deep. You need a beauty rest. Its unique individually wrapped coils are pre-compressed to give you a comfortable mattress that stays forever firm. Sleep on a beauty rest. And here's something you haven't heard in years.
Good night, hon.
Beauty Rest by Simmons. Forever firm.
One of man's most famous blunders will be closed for repairs. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is leaning a bit too far, so workers are trying to stabilize the structure to prevent it from falling. But don't worry, workers aren't going to go too far to straighten out the Leaning Tower that made it so popular. It'll stay crooked.
And the weather's not going to be crooked. Lots of sunshine tomorrow morning and a morning temp of 29. It will warm up to 42.
All right, that wraps it up for all of us. Have a good night.